Hi, I'm Vicki Fabian and welcome to this presentation on artificial intelligence, alternative data and the cloud. Why are we talking about these things today? Well, because almost every piece of software a firm buys will include some form of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Furthermore, data is becoming as lucrative as oil, with alternative data or exhaust data as a byproduct of businesses. And further to this, cloud enhances our abilities within these spaces. As banking, finance, risk and technology practitioners, we need to understand AI, ML and data within the cloud so that we can make sure it's implemented and used effectively and in a well-controlled and risk-managed way. Artificial intelligence has been around for a long time. Greek myths contain stories of mechanical men designed to mimic their own behaviour. But AI is the broader concept of machines being able to carry out tasks in a way that we would consider smart, with the overall objective of AI to deliver general intelligence. AI today is narrow, as it is designed to perform a narrow task. For example, facial recognition, or driving a car. However narrow it may appear, it can still outperform humans. Let's consider some use cases. And let's start with some non-financial services use cases. AI can be found in all areas of our lives, from music to media to retail to manufacturing. I'm sure we're all aware of how Netflix is better predicting what we would like to watch using AI. And there is BMW with their driverless car plans. We're also starting to see it in healthcare, with radiology being supported with algorithms and AI to identify some forms of cancer. Now let's consider financial services use cases. There are chatbots and virtual assistants helping customers day in, day out in help centres and through personalised banking and banking offers. Back office machine learning is supporting with decision modelling and analysis across investments, credit and anti-financial crime. We have seen Santander use red robots to show guests around their Spanish visitor centre. Amazon's digital assistant Alexa has been used for customer service duties. JP Morgan is using robotic process automation to execute trades, as well as manage back office finance tasks where repetitive data is utilised. Morgan Stanley, HSBC and others are using AI for fraud detection, detecting money laundering and terrorist funding. Now, of course, these processes aren't without risk. So let's consider some of the key risks associated with AI and ML. There's firstly, data. Potential issues with data integrity, data quality, and the challenges and impacts of introducing new processes, systems, and people together with data are fundamental. Maturity. This could be the maturity of your organisation, the industry. And for financial services, we face the immaturity of the regulators, the rules and the guidance in this subject matter. Specifically to AI, we have the risks around governance and control and the transparency of solutions. The Information Commissioner's Office has been working with the Alan Turing Institute in respects of explainability of AI solutions for customers. AI case studies to think about and learn from when developing AI solutions include Microsoft's bot Tay. Microsoft released Tay on Twitter in 2016, with organised trolling taking advantage of her social learning abilities, which immediately flooded the bot with inappropriate slurs and slogans, which she then went on to copy. Microsoft had to take her offline after only 16 hours, and their next iteration, Zoe, wasn't much more successful, as it was on the other end of the spectrum, being completely politically correct and therefore shutting down conversations about seemingly simple topics. Amazon's CV screener was built to find potential candidates, which turned out to be discriminating against women, as all of the successful CVs that had been put through were men. Amazon was never able to fully use this algorithm. And I'm not sure I even need to mention the recent fiasco of the A-level grading algorithm. Some other areas to think about when it comes to AI include unemployment. What will we do with the roles which become redundant? Inequality. How should the wealth created by AI and machines be distributed? Humanity. How do machines affect our behaviour and interaction as a human race? How can we guard against mistakes? How can we continue to eliminate bias? Algorithms making mistakes. We've already touched on the A-level example. We need to ensure that humans consider the constraints. Cleverest of them all. Anyone who has read the book Sapiens appreciates that humans are on top of the food chain, not because of our sharp teeth or size or muscularity, but because of our brains. What then does this mean if we are creating machines that can outsmart us? Do machines have rights? Robot Sophia became a Saudi Arabian citizen. And we must remember AI circuit breakers. People must be inserted into the process to make sure the AI doesn't make any major mistakes, such as killing off all humanity whilst trying to cure cancer. Alternative data. Alternative data is data used to obtain insight, currently in the main for investment trading purposes. It is usually big data compiled from a variety of sources such as mobile phones, social media, or the internet. Some cases include Goldman Sachs Asset Management, who monitored Alexa web traffic data and noticed spikes in home depot visits. And led to overweighting on the home improvement stocks months before the company increased its outlook and shares soared. Goldman's is now selling alternative data to clients to support in investment and risk management activities. There's online retailer Wayfair, who released quarterly results, which resulted in a 20% increase in shares. However, for some money managers, this was not useful because they were able to see the increased surge in downloads of Wayfair's Apple Store app via Thinknum's alternative data of Apple Store data. I'm sure there is no surprise that the key risks associated with alternative data surround the ethical use of data, data privacy, and the GDPR considerations and impacts. This leads me on to the cloud. Cloud will make AI and ML more accessible. It will be easier to put large amounts of data into the cloud and make it available to train a machine learning algorithm. It makes scaling solutions easier and more cost-effective. AI and ML algorithms will sit as services within the cloud, with a practitioner needing to choose which cloud has the best AI and ML service for their use case. And that is why we're seeing cloud and AI go hand in hand. With both cloud and AI, care will need to be taken in areas such as cost. The cost of putting the data into the cloud, potentially having to take it off the cloud, and also the cost of using AI and ML services. Exit and portability strategies are key for both cloud and AI and ML on the cloud. Scenarios for unplanned and planned change in cloud service providers should be considered to ensure continuation of services, both pure cloud and services including AI and ML. Security of the data continues to be a concern for many. Consideration with data at rest, in compute and in transit. And finally, developing the capabilities of people in both areas can be complex, with the need to train and educate, and the cost of this from a time and resources perspective can be great. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this session.